So we'll do prayers. All of you can recite along with me behind muted mics. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining. Um, so we'll continue the reading. Sure. Okay. So good time. Hope it's visible here. So we have been reading from the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, titled Transcendental Knowledge. So in the beginning of this chapter, Krishna, I will just briefly recap. So in the beginning of this chapter, Krishna started explaining about this transcendental knowledge or the divine knowledge. So it comes in parampara. That's what Krishna mentioned. And long, long back ago, this knowledge was instructed by the Lord to Vivaswan, and then it was coming down in disciplic succession. And somehow or other, that disciplic succession was broken, and then Krishna himself intervened again to revive this knowledge. And then Krishna also said that this knowledge is being instructed by Krishna to Arjuna because Arjuna is a very dear friend and also a devotee of the Lord. Further, Arjuna was a little bit puzzled because Krishna is a contemporary of Arjuna, so he couldn't completely understand how did Krishna explain it to Vivaswan long, long ago. So then Krishna started explaining the difference between himself, who is the Supreme Lord, who is Paramatma, and the individual soul, who is the infinitesimal living entity, who is Arjuna in this case. So then Krishna started explaining that both of us have taken many, many births together because you are my devotee. We always appear together. However, I'm just trying to hide this one. Sorry. Uh, so I can hide this. Okay, that's good now. I hope the screen is completely visible. Is it visible?
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So here, Krishna started explaining the difference between himself and Arjuna, and then he said how Krishna's body is completely transcendental. He said, Ajopi san abhyayatma, bhutanam ishwaropi san. So Krishna is completely transcendental. His body is not like us. It's divine, spiritual, and also he is unborn. So he never takes birth. He just appears in this world. So in this, the example was given of how the sun appears from the eastern direction and then disappears in the western direction. So we never say that the sun was someone born or sun died like that. It doesn't. That is not relevant because sun just appears to our vision and sun disappears from vision. Similarly, Krishna appears to our vision and disappears from our vision, but is eternally present. That is what was discussed. And however, the living entity takes different material bodies, and the memory of the living entity is also very limited. And usually, whatever ability we have to identify with the self ends with this body. So when we get a new body, we identify with a new body like that. So we don't remember anything from our past births. And then Krishna explains the reason for his appearance. There were two verses on it. So primarily mentioned how he appears to give pleasure to his devotees and to also annihilate the miscreants and to establish principles of dharma. So in this we discussed protecting devotees primarily on a deeper level is by giving his own association to the devotees because devotees are hankering a separation from the Lord. So Krishna appears to mitigate the fire of separation which the devotees have. So that is one thing which we discussed. And also Krishna also as a side business he also kills the miscreants. But we also saw why Krishna doesn't necessarily have to appear to just kill the miscreants, because it's just like very easy for him. Actually, he doesn't have to himself come. He can just arrange it through his material nature. And then Krishna explained how, if one understands the transcendental personality of Krishna, about the divine activities and his appearance, which are not of this world, but if we understand that in totality, we naturally develop love for Krishna, and through that, one will never have to take birth again in this material world, because one will receive a spiritual nature, because the consciousness will be spiritualized, being absorbed in Krishna, and then one will return back to spiritual realm. And then Krishna also, this was, I think, in elaboration explained by Rishi Prabhu also, how one has to become free from attachment, fear, and anger, and by fully absorbing in Krishna and taking refuge in Krishna. And yeah, so then in this was discussed in detail. I won't go into it much. Then further we go into, as all surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. Ye yathamam prapadyante tam sataya vachamyam. These two verses were discussed last Wednesday. So, in this, we saw how Krishna is reciprocal in how he deals with all living entities in this world. And everyone follows my path in all respects. Basically, everyone ultimately is looking for that destination, which is Krishna's abode or Krishna's love. That is what everyone looks for. But some look for directly and some look for indirectly. And those look for indirectly, they may go away from Krishna, but ultimately, uh, the aim which everyone is looking for is towards Krishna only. So then Rishi Pro gave a nice example of, if you're taking a flight from point A to point B, one can either go directly from A to B, or one can go to C, D, E, and all other places, and then finally reach B. That is also true. And then we saw last verse was on demigod worship. We saw how many people usually worship demigod because they want quick results. Kankshanta karma siddhi, siddhir bhavati karmaja. So they quickly get the results. That is what we mentioned. Um, but Krishna is loving personality. Krishna is like a loving father. So he only gives that which a living entity actually needs. So we saw the example of a child going to a shopkeeper versus child going to the father will only give which is good for the child, but the shopkeeper can give anything according to the price paid by the child. And from there we'll continue from verse 13. Okay, thank you so much for bearing this. Let me see what are that. Yeah, Sanjuti, would you be able to read? Hare Krishna. Sanjuti.
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry, actually, my microphone was mute.
Okay, can you please read? No worries. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. Um, for this is the 13th verse, right?
Yes.
Sorry, Prabhu, actually, for the date. Uh, is the fourth chapter 13th verse.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, yes.
Chaturvarnang maya srishtam guna karma vibhagusha tusya karta roma pimang vidhu karta roma bayam. The translation: according to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me, and although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non doer, being unchangeable. Purport: the Lord is the creator of everything, everything is born of Him, everything is sustained by Him, and everything after annihilation rests in Him. He is therefore the creator of the four divisions of the social order, beginning with the intelligent class of men, technically called Brahmanas due to their being situated in the mode of goodness. Next is the administrative class, technically called the Kshatriyas due to their being situated in the mode of passion. The mercantile men, called the Vaishyas, are situated in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance, and the Sudras, or laborer class, are situated in the ignorant mode of material nature. In spite of his creating the four divisions of human society, Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these divisions because he is not one of the continued souls, a section of whom from human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society, but to elevate man from the animal status, the above mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Krishna consciousness. The tendency of a particular man toward work is determined by the modes of material nature which he has acquired. Such symptoms of life, according to the different modes of material nature, are described in the 18th chapter of this book. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmanas. Although Brahmanas by quality are supposed to know about Brahman, the supreme absolute truth, most of them approach only the impersonal Brahman manifestation of Lord Krishna. But a man who transcends the limited knowledge of a Brahmana and reaches the knowledge of the supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, becomes a person in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, a Vaishnava. Krishna consciousness includes the knowledge of all different planetary expansions of Krishna, named Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, etc. And as Krishna is transcendental to this system of the four divisions of human society, a person in Krishna consciousness is also transcendental to all divisions of human society, whether we consider the divisions of community, nation, or species.
Thank you so much, Sanjit. So this is a very critical verse of the Gita. Here Krishna clearly states that Chatur Varnya Maya system. So there are four Varnas. I think we already discussed about the distinctions based on Varna. There are four Varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, which also we saw in this particular purport. So these are basically based on the three modes of material nature, which is goodness, passion, and ignorance, and work associated with them. So here Krishna says guna karma vibhagasha. So guna is the influence of the modes of material nature, and karma is the tendency of action. So based on that, the four varnas are distributed. So it didn't say ever that it is based on birth actually. So it is not based on birth. It Krishna never said it is based on janma guna karma vibhagasha. No, it just says guna and karma. So that is what is to be highlighted here. And finally, Krishna also highlights here that I am the creator of the system, and I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So though Krishna is the creator, so he is the one who has made this particular arrangement for human society to actually elevate from the animal status to and to actually qualify as a human being. So that Prabhupada also mentioned in the purport, right? But though Krishna is the creator of the system, he is not bound by it. He is completely transcendental. He is beyond. He doesn't have any particular action to perform. So he cannot qualify as any of the within to be within any of these varnas or even ashramas. Like that. So yeah, we'll go into the little bit from the purport. So here we saw the four varnas. What are their duties and occupations? So brahmanas have their particular responsibilities. They are in mode of goodness. They are intelligent class of men. The administrative class are the kshatriyas. So they do managerial responsibilities. Brahmanas more do like they do more of research work. Of course, traditionally they did research based on Vedic scriptures. Now also they are doing research, but of other things. But that is traditionally the quality of a brahmana is to think deeply about some subject matter and to go and to analyze and to philosophize. So these are the things of brahmana. They also becomes teacher. They are ones who also perform Vedic sacrifices like that. There are different responsibilities for brahmana. Patan, Patan, Yajan, Yajan. So the Dana, Parigraha. These are all different responsibilities or different duties of a Brahmana. And then for Kshatriya, they are more in managerial authority. They like to manage people. And the mercantile men or the Vaishyas, they are situated in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance. Kshatriyas are more in mode of passion. Kshatriyas they like to manage people, and Vaishyas they like to manage money. That's their natural tendency. And Shudras they assist all the other classes of men. So that is what is mentioned. So that is just based on the quality of action and one's karma. Yeah, it is not necessarily based on birth. Is what is mentioned. And so in earlier times, what would happen is when a child goes to the Gurukula, the Guru will actually assess the particular modes of the child and the tendencies of child, and based on that, the Guru will train the disciple in their particular varna. So by which the child will not have to. be preparing for something which is not according to the Varna of child. Nowadays, everyone is somehow put into a cookie cutter kind of system where everyone follows a uh, particular kind of occupation, or at least they are encouraged very much to follow particular kind of occupation, which is somehow trending. But by that, what happens is the child is also not happy, and they are not able to do any valuable contribution to this world also. That is unfortunate. But Krishna's system is not like that. So it identifies the nature of a child, of a person, and the system encourages the person to work towards that. That's what is mentioned. Yeah, so here it's important point. Human society is similar to animal society, but to eliminate man from animal status, this particular mode is mentioned. Particular system is arranged. Okay. Yeah. And one more thing to understand is this is not actually a creation of Krishna. It's not a Krishna has made the arrangement that this person becomes Brahmana, this person is qualified as a Shudra, or this person is a Kshatriya, or whatever. It is actually one's own karma from many lives that accumulates and decides what one's particular varna should be. That is what is mentioned also. So, so for instance, if like let's say a person commits a crime or does some rewarding activity, and when that person is taken to the judge will give a result accordingly. So you can't blame the judge for that result. Right? Similarly, Krishna is giving just the result of one's previous action. So one cannot blame Krishna for giving one a particular result. That we can understand. Yeah, and then further we also saw Brahmana is someone who knows about Brahman or the absolute truth, and where there are different features of absolute truth also. So once one knows completely Supreme Personality of Krishna completely, then one qualifies the Vaishnava, and Vaishnava is actually greater than a Brahmana also that we saw here. Yeah. And then why is Vaishnava greater than Brahmana? Because a Vaishnava is completely absorbed in Krishna. And here is what is mentioned. A person in because Krishna is transcendental to this system, because he is the creator of the system and he has no attachments in this world, is completely aloof from everything. Because of which is completely transcendental. Similarly, a person in Krishna consciousness who is Vaishnava is also transcendental to all these divisions of human society. That is what is mentioned. So when one becomes a pure Vaishnava, one is no longer bound by these rules of Varna and Ashrama. I hope this makes sense. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask. Else we can go ahead. Okay, I even don't know if we can read this, but we can start at least. Yes, Amit Prabhu, would you be able to read? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I'll read Sanskrit. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mam yo bhijanati karma virna sabhadyate. Please read.
There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of word. Purport. As there are constitutional laws in the material world stating that the king can do no wrong, or that the king is not subject to these state laws, similarly, the Lord, although he is the creator of this material world, is not affected by activities of the material world. He creates and remain aloof from the creation, whereas the living entities are entangled in the fruitive results of material activities because of their propensity for lording it over material resources. The proprietor of an establishment is not responsible for the right and wrong activities of the workers, but the workers are themselves responsible. The living entities are engaged in their respective activities of sense gratification, and these activities are not ordained by the Lord. For advancement of the sense gratification, the living entities are engaged in the work of this world, and they aspire to heavenly happiness after death. The Lord, being full in himself, has no attraction for so called heavenly happiness. The heavenly demigods are only his engaged servants. The proprietor never desires the low grade happiness such as the workers may desire. He is aloof from the material actions and reactions. For example, the rains are not responsible for different types of vegetation that appears on the earth, although without such rains, there is no possibility of vegetative growth. Vedic Smriti confirms this fact as follows. Nimitta
निमित्तमात्रम् एवासौ सृज्यानां सर्गकर्मणि प्रधानकारणीभूता यतो वै सृज्य शक्तयः. Yes, please.
In the material creations, the Lord is only the supreme cause. The immediate cause is material nature, by which the cosmic manifestation is made visible. The created Beings are of many varieties, such as the demigods, human beings, and lower animals, and all of them are subject to the reactions of their past good or bad activities. The Lord only gives them the proper facilities for such activities and the regulations of the modes of nature, but He is never responsible for their past and present activities. In the Vedanta Sutra, it is confirmed Vaishmaya nirgrihine na sa kesavate. The Lord is never partial to any living entity. The living entity is responsible for his own acts. The Lord only gives him facilities through the agency of material nature, the external energy. Anyone who is fully conversant with all the intricacies of this law of karma or fruitive activities does not become affected by the results of his activities. In other words, the person who understands this transcendental nature of the Lord is an experienced man in Krishna consciousness, and thus he is never subjected to the law of karma. One who does not know the transcendental nature of Lord and who thinks that the activities of the Lord are aimed at fruitive results, as are the activities of the ordinary living entities, certainly becomes entangled himself in fruitive reactions. But one who knows the supreme truth is a liberated soul fixed in Krishna consciousness.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. I think we are already out of time. I'll just summarize this in 1 minute because there's one concept which is discussed in this verse and that is being repeated again in the purport. So, main idea which is mentioned is there is Krishna is completely transcendental. So he creates this system in this world, what we mentioned about Varana and Ashrama and the laws of karma. He creates that, but he's completely aloof from it. So he may come here once a while to visit this place and to somehow help the people who are entangled in this law of karma to come out of it. But he is never bound by it. For example, I'll just give one example that will be very helpful in this regard. So let's say there is a prison house and the governor of that state, sometimes let's say he comes to that prison house. So the people who are suffering the term in the prison should not think that the governor is also one of them. Just because he is coming to the prison doesn't mean that he's also a prisoner. He has actually come to see who are the prisoners who are maybe following all the rules of the prison well, and they are actually refining themselves and they're becoming good people, and they might be shown some mercy and let out of the prison. So that is the role of the governor in coming there. But the governor is not one of the prisoners. He is not bound by the laws of the prison house. So that we have to understand. Similarly, when Krishna is coming here, he's actually coming to see, inspire living entities by which living entities can get rid of this prison of this material world and return back to him. He is not bound by the laws of this world like that. So that is what we can see. And that is what is something which, and this is a concept in Vedanta Sutra which is mentioned Vaishamya Nairganya, Vaishamya Nairganya na Sapekshatvat. So this is when Vedanta Sutra is mentioned. Lord is never responsible, is never partial to any living entity, and living entity is responsible for his own acts. He is Vaishamya Nairganya means he is not directly interested in the affairs of this material world, and he has no apeksha. He has nothing to expect in this world also. And then Krishna just gives facilities to inspire living entities according to their particular nature. So that is this example I think we discussed in Bhakti Circle also about how there are different seeds existing in the garden. So every seed is nourished according to the particular nature of the seed, right? The water is just nourishing the seed to grow according to its nature, right? So thorn tree cannot complain that why am I not having roses, right? Why am I not a rose plant or something? It's because the seed of a thorn tree is that of a thorn tree. So that's why it is growing as a thorn tree. I hope it makes sense. Oh, yeah. So this is basically what is being conveyed in this verse. It was explained in detail. Yeah. And once one knows this nature of Krishna, because one understands the Supreme Lord's nature and his actual position in being completely transcendental, then by knowing Krishna in full, one can actually get freed from all entanglements in this world and return back to Krishna. So this is what was also explained. I think I went uh, very off time. So I mean, I extended a lot. So I'm sorry for that. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask. We'll pause with them. Hey Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, if everything is clear, it's good. So we can meet again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.